Can I take a nap?
Let's go ahead and call tonight's meeting to order. Have the roll call.
Kessler.
Here.
Walters.
Here.
Rarden.
Here.
Ewert.
Here.
Dinner.
Here.
Parton. Here. Crum.
Here.
Thompson.
Here. Tonight's invocation will be given by Councilman Bitter.
Father in heaven, we give you thanks for your goodness and your mercy to us and the way that you provide for us and look after us. And we just pray for your continued watch care over us through these difficult times. We ask you to be with us in this meeting tonight. Give us your wisdom as we consider these things, the business of our community, and help us to make decisions that would honor and please thee. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to start tonight's meeting with a special order of business. A, it's a public hearing regarding the Community Development Block Grant Project application. So I'm going to read from the script as usual to make sure that everyone has the right information, and there's a copy at the door if you want one. I'm going to read all this information about it. Once someone makes a motion, they won't need to read all this. It's rather long. It said, I entertain a motion to open the public hearing to discuss a specific project application to be submitted to the Kansas Department of Commerce for Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Fund under the Community Facilities category. The specific project application is discussed as the street improvements in an area generally bound by 63rd Street South on the north, 2nd Street on the west, 61st Street South on the south, and Osage Avenue on the east, including Osage Court. That will consist of paving approximately 4,250 linear feet of existing street and asphalt pavement, replacing open ditch drainage with approximately 8,500 linear feet of curb and gutter, 2,900 linear feet of SWS pipe, 7 RC manholes, 19 curb inlets, 255 linear feet of monolithic head curb, and 1 precast concrete intersection and associated grading, unclassified excavation, traffic control, seeding, and erosion. Project cost $943,995 with the grant request for $342,000 of the project cost. The other project proposals introduced at hearing will be considered. Oral and written comments will be recorded and part of Haysville CDBG Citizen Participation Plan. With all of that read, I'd entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion that we open the public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant Project application.
Second.
Motion second to open the public hearing on the Community Development Block Grant application. Discussion? Question?
Kessler.
Here. Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Rarden.
Yes.
Ewert.
Yes.
Dinner.
Yes.
Parton.
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Have any council members had any outside contact regarding this project? If so, please indicate who you have spoken with, the nature of the conversation, and what items from the conversation might be relevant to this hearing. Any council? Seeing none, do any of the members have a conflict of interest from the council? Seeing none, so we'll move on. Has the city received any electronic communications on this matter?
No.
No electronic. We're then down to the staff report, which will be given by Bill Boland. Bill's out there to come in and give the staff report.
Can we get copies of this block grant application, because it's not in our packet?
I can get you a copy of it.
Please.
Good evening. I'm Bill Boland. I'm the gentleman who wrote your grant last year and wrote it again this year. What happened last year is we missed funding by about 5 points. And so I contacted the Kansas Department of Commerce, and they were able to review our grant application and give us some ideas where we could improve it. So we've made those improvements and submitted them to the Kansas Department of Commerce and asked, is this what you want? Is this more along the lines of what you're looking for? And they said yes. So we've made all those changes and put together an application for funding this year. Basically, they're looking at announcing awards in January. The grant application is due the end of October. That's kind of the basics of it. I'd be glad to answer any other questions that there might be.
And the grant's a few changes. It's about the same as what we had did last year, amounts.
Yeah, they were pretty small. They were wanting, one of the things we did was we added a lot more photos. Another thing is we deleted the number of options. We had 5 options on what to do, and we deleted that down to 4, so that helped it a little bit. The gentleman who reviewed it, or lady who reviewed it, said we were redundant in one area, so got rid of the redundancy. Added a couple other things they wanted, so it's pretty simple. We weren't trying to make it to where we were the top of the line, we were just trying to make it to get funded. So we were aiming to improve by 5 or 6 points. And we're thinking we did that part.
Any other questions for Mr. Boland?
Is there a limit to the funding that you can receive relative to the total cost of the project?
Yes, it's $2,000 per beneficiary. So you have 171 beneficiaries, so you're limited to 342,000.
Is that like 5 points out of 100, or 5 points out of what?
It was more than 100, but it's pretty close. Yeah.
So 5 is a pretty small number for the amount that's needed.
Yes. It gets. There are times when the difference between the people who get funded and those who don't is a half a point. But you're more than overmatched in one of the areas, which is the best you can get for points for matching dollars is dollar for dollar, and you're above that. So you're guaranteed to maximize points there. Some of the other areas, you're just compared to everybody else who put in an application, and so it's just a formula-based thing, and you can't control it, you can't do anything about it. You know, last year's formula might have given you 3 points, and this year's formula might give you 10, based on who applied.
No further questions. We're going to move on then into the public hearing. So is any member of the public out there that would like to speak?
No.
None. So since there's no public, we have no public questions from the council. So we would then entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion second to close public hearing. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Rardon,
Yes.
Ewert,
Yes.
Spinner,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
This is the time, if any council has any comments, we will have the actual ordinances and the voting for resolutions come up later in your meeting at this point then. So there's nothing else to make motions on, just if you have any comments you'd like to make.
How did we come up with the 100? How many people would benefit? Do we just go through there and like do a census on how many people, or?
We actually contacted all the residents over in Sunset Fields, and that's where we got the 172 residents that are in Sunset Fields at 2,000, giving us to 342,000.
Okay. We're just curious.
And again, this is low to moderate. That is the only place in the city that qualifies for low to moderate income.
Okay.
This is the improve the streets and guttering and all that.
Streets, guttering, yeah,
Storm sewer.
Drainage.
storm sewer,
Yeah.
curb and gutter, storm sewer, streets, all that, so it is truly like any addition that we have in town.
Now, if we do that, I mean, when this is all done, that will be the only place left in Haysville that doesn't have.
There are 2 cul-de-sacs over in,
All over Moore Park. Yeah. Where Janet lives.
Right around the corner.
yeah, 2 cul-de-sacs, and I guess you might call that a street.
Yeah, kind of.
It's kind of a
Sunset.
path, basically. That will be the only places left
It goes between.
in town that needs to be curb and guttered, or needs to have asphalt. So
But the
that-
one by the old VFW building, going
Yeah.
towards the turnpike, is that in the city?
That's, yeah, that is one that goes down into the industrial park there. Yeah, that's gravel that way too. But as far as residential, that would be the only residential. Oh, the others in the industrial park. No further questions? We'll move on into the agenda then. Item 1, citizens to be heard. A, Kathy Hurley regarding the
Yeah.
living
You
Minutes,
missed,
some
you
minutes.
missed the minutes.
minutes. Oh, we don't need those.
Wait just a minute.
Presentation minutes. A, minutes of August 24th, 2020.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from August 24th, 2020.
Second.
Most second, minutes of August 24th, 2020. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Burton,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Dinner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, now we're ready for Kathy Hurley and the Living Rendezvous. This Living History Rendezvous.
You want me to leave my mask on or take it off?
Yeah.
Yeah. My choice, huh?
We can hear you.
I'm calling to ask permission to have the rendezvous just for information. We had contacted the presenters that have been coming there every year, and all of them want to come back despite the COVID. We will not be having the field trip days for the school children, obviously, because they're only doing field trips virtually. So we're cutting down a day. We'll only be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, November 6th through the 8th. And 7th will be the main event. The campers always camp about 15, 20 feet apart, so social distancing is not an issue. I'm going to require them to wear a bandana or something over their face. And they're all aware of what's going on. So, and it's totally up to them if they want to come, take the chance, you know, so it's, I'm just asking permission that we can hold it in the park.
You got somebody to help kind of police and make sure all those guidelines are really being followed there?
Yeah, I'll be walking around, my husband will be walking around, and Brad McCaffrey, who's like the kind of honcho for all the campers, they all have been sent a note that you must do this, you must do that, but, and they understand. They understand what's going on, so it's just, it's you guys' decision whether we have it or not.
Okay.
I've already done all the paperwork, insurance, and all the other stuff, got it going, so we're on a go unless something happens with the COVID that everything gets shut down. At the minute, if I hear something going on, I'm shutting it down because I don't want to take the risk myself, so.
Questions for Kathy?
Where again is the event?
It's in Riggs Park.
Okay.
Yeah, we rent the whole park out in that area around the pond and everything, so, and this is our, I'd say 9th year. I haven't been keeping track, but I need to look it up. I think our 9th year of holding it, and we would let the children come in like on the Friday, and they would come around and they just absolutely love it. You wouldn't believe these 4th graders tanning a hide right there, you know, so, but I've already had a couple school teachers say they're sorry they won't be able to come to it this year, because mainly 4th, 5th, and 6th graders were coming to it, and they just absolutely love it, so I'm glad they do.
Yeah, we can't take field trips.
Huh?
We can't take field trips.
No, I know.
Schools.
It's only virtual, I understand,
What are
so.
what are the dates?
November 6th, 7th, and 8th. The main event is the 7th. 6th is basically set up, and the 8th is tear down, but everybody's welcome to come out and want to learn how to put up or take down a teepee, you're welcome to come out.
So, council would like, would you want to give permission to use the Riggs Park?
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion to allow the Living History Rendezvous to allow, or to use Riggs Park November 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Second.
Most seconds, allow the Living History Rendezvous November 6th, 7th, and 8th. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to make sure, so, and you said you're going to keep an eye on it, but if Sedgwick County comes out with a thing where you can't have gatherings, or if we take a step back, then you're going to follow that and we won't have it?
Yeah, but it's, if they come out with, we can't get a big group together, I do not know how many people show up. I'll know how many people are there for camping and stuff like that, but as far as who's gonna show up, I'm hoping people are bored enough that they wanna come out and see it, but I totally understand if they don't come out, so yeah. I will make sure it gets shut down, and I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
Other discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Burton,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Dinner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes?
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy.
See you, Kathy.
Item 2, introduction of ordinance and resolutions. A, an ordinance authorizing provisions for the issuance of general obligation bond series 2020A for the City of Haysville, providing for levy and collection of the annual tax for the paying of principal and interest of said bond to become due, authorizing other documents, therefore making certain covenants. This is the ordinance on Senior Center, PD, Timber Creek, and our Rotary Press.
Mr. Crump, can I have you take one and pass around, please? There's people behind me, isn't there? Thank you very much.
You need one there?
I've got one.
Thank you.
That first one was
There'll be two different pieces going around. One looks like this, bid tab, and another one that looks
Who
like
has this
this.
one?
Oh, which one? I've got that one, I don't have the other one.
No, it's the other one.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the other one. Here's another one.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, you got two.
I kept trying to give it to you.
No, you got it.
Sorry, maybe there's a more efficient way to do this.
No, there wasn't.
Oh, you don't have
Still
that
a
one?
chance to get it. I got a couple more steps in.
I don't think I need one.
Okay, so everybody got two.
Remedial passing out papers.
Everybody got paper?
Class.
Russ, did you get anything?
Yeah, I gave it to
I've got two. And a, census.
And I gave him a sock in the nose when I did it, so.
We're ready.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the council, Brett Sjogren, Stiefel Nicholas and Company, financial advisor to the city. To refresh your memory, at a previous meeting, you adopted a resolution scheduling a general obligation bond sale today, September 14th, with bids opening at 11 a.m. This was to provide permanent financing for the Timber Creek Estates Phase 2, which is paving and drainage, sanitary sewer and water line improvements. Second project was a police department and senior center improvement project. And the third project was a Rotary Press sewer improvement project. Due to the size of this bond issue, we thought it would benefit from a rating, so we sent the documents and preliminary official statement to Moody's Investor Service and had a rating conference call with Will and the analyst. They developed a report and reaffirmed your A3 rating that you already had on your existing bonds, which was what we were expecting, which is a great rating, investment grade rating, and we're pleased with that. We also gave bidders the option to apply municipal bond insurance for additional credit enhancement on the bonds that they would pay for at their expense, but they elected not to use it. So I think that shows value of the credit of the city, that they felt like they didn't need that to sell the bonds. This morning we opened bids at 11 a.m. and as you can see on your bid tab, we received 6 bids from worst to best. D.A. Davidson and Company at 1.57% TIC, or true interest cost. Robert W. Baird was 1.54% true interest cost. Commerce Bank bid 1.52. UMB Bank 1.46. First Bankers Bank Securities 1.46. And Country Club Bank was the best bid at 1.403004% on 20-year bonds, which is an excellent rate. Country Club Bank, they also bid a premium of almost $82,000, and with interest rates being lower than we had originally estimated, and with that extra premium, we were able to downsize the issue almost $100,000 from $2.46 million down to $2,365,000. And since this is a little different than we're used to, since there's 3 different projects in this, I also passed around kind of a 3-page summary here. This shows the debt service for each of the projects. We lumped the projects together and issued one bond issue for efficiency, but these 3 pages shows you the debt service. It's level debt service. The Timber Creek portion was 20 years, police department, and
and senior center project was 15 years, and the sanitary sewer rotary press was a 10-year project. And for consideration tonight is a bond ordinance and bond resolution that incorporates the results of the sale, and it finalizes the transaction to allow the issuance of the bonds. Once adopted, we'll finalize the final official statement, order the bonds printed, submit the transcript to the Attorney General's office for approval, and the bond issue is set to close on October 1st of this year. There will be 3 actions required by the council tonight. The first one is to accept the bid from Country Club Bank, who's the best bidder, at 1.403004%, and then the ordinance and the resolution. And all 3 require a motion, second, and vote. And I'd be happy to stand for any questions you may have.
Don't see any. Do we have a motion to accept the bid of Country Club Bank?
I make a motion, we accept the bid for Country Club Bank at a true interest cost of 1.403004.
Second.
Motion second to approve the bid on the bond Country Club Bank as presented. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Barden,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Spinner,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
And we have a ordinance authorizing the issuing of these bonds. I have a motion for that.
Make a motion, we approve the ordinance authorizing and providing for the issuance of general obligation bond series 2020-A as presented.
Second.
Motion second to approve the ordinance as presented on bonds. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Barden,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Spinner,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Item B then is the resolution for the form and details of the sale as presented for the for projects.
I make a motion, we approve the resolution prescribing the form and details of and authorizing and directing the sale and delivery of general obligation bonds, Series 2020A of the City of Haysville, as presented.
Second.
Motion second for the approval of the resolution as presented on the bonds. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Barden,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Spinner,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Good. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's quite an interest rate.
Yeah.
Almost like free money.
Yeah.
1.4.
You never had that long before, ever.
No wonder you can't get any kind of return on your money anymore. At 1.4. But we'll take it.
We would borrow some money.
We're going to move on then to item C, which is resolution certifying the legal authority to apply for the 2021 Kansas Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program from the Kansas Department of Commerce, and authorizing the mayor to sign and submit such an application. And as you know, we just had the public hearing on that application, so we're ready for the resolution.
Make a motion, we accept the resolution certifying legal authority to apply for the 2021 Kansas Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program from the Kansas Department of Commerce, and authorizing the mayor to sign and submit such an application.
Second.
Motion second to approve the resolution for the CDBG and the mayor to sign. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Barden,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Spinner,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
And item D is the resolution assuring that we will fund this continually, and the improvements and maintenance for the streets that are there as accordant with the CDBG.
I make a motion, we accept the resolution assuring the Kansas Department of Commerce that funds will be continually provided for the operation and maintenance improvements to the street system to be financed with community development block grant funds.
Second.
Motion second to approve the resolution as presented on the maintenance and upkeep of the CDBG. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Barden,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Spinner,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Item E then is an ordinance amending a certain zoning regulation to the city of Haysville, Kansas. This is the follow-up ordinance that was voted on last meeting.
I make a motion we approve the ordinance amending certain zoning regulations of the city of Haysville, Kansas.
Second.
Motion second to approve the ordinance of the zoning regulation of the city. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Rarden,
Yes.
Hubert,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Parton,
No.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Item 3, notice of communications. A, government announcements. Any announcements, council?
Just a reminder on library hours, they're Monday through Thursday from 10 in the morning to 7 in the evening. Fridays are 10 in the morning to 5 in the evening. Saturday is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. On the 10 to 2 on Saturdays, though, you have to kind of call ahead and go out. You can't actually go into the library. They'll come out and bring out what you requested when you can call, and it's closed on Sundays. This Thursday, September 17th, is Constitution Day. You can stop by the library and they'll have free copies of the Constitution during their hours on Thursday, which again would be 10 in the morning until 7 at night. And then also a reminder, it's really important for federal dollars coming in to make sure that you have completed the census. That's due at the end of this month, so if you haven't done that, you can get online and do it, or get online and find out where you can get the information for it. That's all I have going on.
Very good. Any other announcements, Governor Buddy?
Well,
Yes.
I'd like to make one. Mary Killian, who is a longtime resident of Haysville, is making these pillows and asked me if I would just tell everybody that she lives over on Van Arsdale and they're out on her front porch, and if you'd like one, just drop by and take a couple of them, and she just loves making them for everybody. They don't cost a thing, so. Good nap pillow.
My mom got 2 of those last week when she was out taking a walk.
Yeah, so, and I got a couple of them myself.
You need some pillows? There they are.
Yeah.
Senior Center announcements. Tuesday, September 15th is their steps at 10. Wednesday, September 16th, commodities will be at 1 o'clock. Thursday, September 17th, they've got bingo at 12:30. Then Monday, September 21st, they've got care yoga at 10 o'clock. Senior Center, 529-5903 if you need more information. Item B, amendment of council on the new businesses. We've had several. Myers Mushrooms, Homespun Kids, AAA Air Support, 060 Technology, AC Equipment Repair, and then Society of Decorative Painters. So some of those are home businesses and some are regular in businesses, so getting a pretty good number coming in. Item C is memo of ownership change. It's the Metal Technologies doing business as DME Intercontinent, formerly DME Electrics. They're electric wire splices for aerospace. So they've been there in Kane for quite a while. Item D is the agreement with the Sedgwick County for the CARES Act funding. It's an agreement we have to do to be able to get funding from the CARES Act. And if you remember, council and Commissioner O'Donnell told us that funds were available. They've now gone through all of their paperwork. We received a amount of.
We got a check for $118,349, which is half of the total that we could get.
That's 50. That's half of what they say that we will be able to be eligible to receive. They sent us the first 50%, then we have to submit to get the other 50%. And we still have to fill all the paperwork to make sure this first 50% meets the guidelines that are there. So to do that, we need to make sure we pass this agreement with the Sedgwick County.
We need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to the grant agreement with Sedgwick County for the CARE Act funding.
Second.
Motion second to approve the agreement with Sedgwick County for CARE Act funding. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Rarden,
Yes.
Hubert,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Item 4, other business. This can A, consideration of the Haysville hustle policy. As you can see out the window, there is our Haysville hustle. Is it 14 or 16 passenger?
14.
14 passenger bus, and you have your policy in front of you. Georgie's ready to answer any questions or whatever she's going to present here to us.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I do have one change on page 5. I did have under wheelchairs and other mobility devices. On the second line, it should say may not exceed instead of may exceed, so I do need to make that one change with approval. But other than that, I stand for any questions you might have.
So Georgia, looking at this, this is more for how the service is going to work for other people. Does our employee manual cover the rules that the driver has to follow?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is separate, and there'll be much more information on that. This is basically just for if you want your child to ride your bus, you have to sign through this. You know, what you have to agree to is code of conduct and just the official rules, prices, and stuff like that.
And even though when we talk about this, under the operations, you have the service hours, and then you also have the senior center hours, but you don't have to be a senior to use this facility, the service, correct?
You do not. You just have to
Okay.
reside in the city of Haysville, and it has to originate from Haysville. So.
I hope this gets used.
Me too.
So the tickets get purchased from the senior center?
Senior Center and City Hall.
City Hall.
They're actually a punch card. There is a software program that we have that will work. I'm not sure if that will be able to reduce those by scanning those or whatever yet. We haven't gotten into all the nuts and bolts of that part yet, but looking at something where there may be a little bit less hand contact, especially with COVID and everything that's going on, but we're working on those details.
And so you call for a ride 24 hours in advance, anywhere from the city to anywhere?
So the bus will run routes, will pick up within, we'll have to originate in the city of Haysville. We will take in the city of Haysville, and then we'll make connection points up to 47th and Broadway, because that's where Wichita Transit comes down to. And then also, that was one of the main points of when we did the study, that there's a lot of shopping and services up there that people want to be able to have access to. And then also to K-15, 63rd, that area of general shopping will be the 2 points. It's something that was discussed before, and it's not there yet, but one of the original plans was connecting with the Derby Dash, which is the service in Derby, with that connection point. But that's not figured out yet, but that was the original plan of going to that point. So, and that's a plan with going up to 47th and Broadway. You connect with the Wichita Transit, and then you can use that service once you get into Wichita.
And they go from Haysville and go there, and then let's say they're up there for a couple of hours, can they schedule to have us go pick them up and bring them home as well?
Yep, they just have to do it within the operating hours of the bus service. So they have to plan that accordingly, or they'll have to use other transportation services to get back if they don't make it in time.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve the Haysville hustle policy as presented.
Second.
Most second to approve Haysville hustle policy as presented. Discussion? Questions?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Burden,
Yes.
Hubert,
Yes.
Spinner,
Yes.
Hartman,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Item B is consideration of the CDBG-CV grant administrator. If council remembers, we received $132,000 to be able to give to businesses in town that qualifies for the CDBG-CV, but we have to have a grant administrator. Georgie, I think we had 4 apply and have picked the Ransom Financial as the administrator.
I do have a question. I'm curious, and I know we don't have to take the lowest bid, and I understand the reasoning in this, but I want to make sure that I'm taking, do we pay the grant distributor out of the grant money?
Yes.
So we're talking about dropping that down to $120,000 with Ransom instead of $124,000 with Thrive. I understand they're not local, but I'm wondering is that worth $4,000?
If we have to pay the money back, it's worth more than that.
So we have to pay the money back if it doesn't get dealt out correctly?
If-
Is that what the concern is?
If Thrive was to not follow the instructions and doing what needs to be done, we're responsible, not them. So looking at the qualifications between Thrive and Ransom, that's why they picked Ransom, because the qualifications and the liability that could be to the city on these funds. 4,000 is not a lot of money. We've got to pay it back.
Ransom's also currently working, they have 4 current grants that were working for COVID that was awarded in the first round. They'll wrap up 2 of them within the next 30 days, so they've kind of worked out the kinks, they know the process. Thrive has not worked on any of it. They are also more health-based and more of a economic development office that also does grant administration, where Ransom has 20, 25, and like 40 years of experience with working with this type of grants. So experience-wise, it's definitely Ransom has it over the other, especially working this grant. So.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because that's 4,000 we could have used for another business in town, but if those sounds like good reasons, so.
Yeah, and I agree, except I don't want to pay it back to the government.
And Ransom also didn't have any hours laid out. Thrive was only 6 to 8 hours a week that we worked on the grant. Ransom didn't have, they said that was whatever needed to be done to get the grant completed.
Okay.
So.
With that, we need approval then to,
I'll make a motion, we approve, appoint Ransom Financial as the CDBG CV Grant Administrator, procurement for this.
Second.
most second, approve Ransom Financial for the CBG-CV Grant Administrator. Discussion? Questions?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Rarden,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item C is consideration of the manhole rehab.
Trying to talk her to taking this one. Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are continuing to rehab our city's sanitary sewer manholes. In years past, we have utilized Mayor's specialty to apply fiber reinforced cement mortar inside the manholes. This fills all the voids and prevents the infiltration of stormwater into our wastewater system. In response, it allows us not to treat stormwater at our wastewater treatment plant. This year's prices were locked in by a renewable contract with Mayor Specialty that expires this year. I've included a map into your packet. I am seeking approval to rehab approximately 200 vertical feet, not to exceed $25,000, with the work performed by Mayor Specialty, and this was a budgeted item.
This is the end of a 3-year renewable contract,
Correct.
so it's probably gonna go up next year.
Most likely, I would guess. That's the way things go, yeah. But this, along with our CIPP that we do in our wastewater department, has extremely reduced the amount of infiltration into our wastewater plant. Like, I can't even explain how much it has done that by.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, if there's no more discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve the manhole rehabilitation for Mayor Specialty Services for $125 per vertical foot as presented.
Second.
Most seconds, approve the manhole rehab as presented. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Rarden,
Yes.
Hewitt,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 5, department reports. Will is going to go ahead and give several of these, but I think we will have, Tony going to come back in?
Yes. The final cruising day for this year, in conjunction with the hometown market, will be on Saturday, September 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. Also, the final hometown market day for this season will be that same day, September 26th. The market is open from 8 to noon on Saturdays. Voter registration information is in the packet. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that yet, but the last day to register for the November 3rd general election is Tuesday, October 13th, and that is in your packet in a flyer. Also, if you've looked outside the police department, you'll see that we've partnered with Sedgwick County to provide an additional convenient way to vote. The county recently installed a ballot drop box there right outside of the front doors of the police department. Tonight's visiting officer is Master Police Officer Matt Trelo. He's assigned to Campus High School as the SRO, and you met him on your way in. Also, a reminder from Chief, school has started. Please be mindful of school zones and keep an eye out for kids that might be walking or riding or some other method of transportation to school outside of a vehicle ride.
Watch out for the crossing guards too.
And don't hit the crossing guard. For recreation, we are now taking registrations for the following programs: Tiny Tumbling, Preschool Adventure Club, and Youth Basketball. And Tony's going to come back in and go over some announcements.
I got quite a few project updates for you guys. Sidewalk from Meridian to Haysville West Middle School on the 71st. Public Works staff has removed the berm on the middle school property, and we've also relocated a few irrigation heads on St. Cecilia property. Evergy has removed the guy wire that was in conflict with the location of the sidewalk, and we spoke to the contractor last week, and they will begin work this week. They hope to finish within 1 to 2 weeks, and Councilman Ewert, we have directed them to pour the curb on Turkle with this project as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Veterans Memorial, we have received the light fixtures, the statue, the benches, and the plaque. The flagpole should arrive any day. The conduit pathways for the light fixtures and the base for the pad has been finished by our staff. The concrete contractor has will do this work in conjunction with the 71st Street sidewalk, and then we start beginning on this tomorrow. Again, they hope to finish within 1 to 2 weeks. Once the concrete has cured, staff will begin installation of the plaque, the benches, and the flagpoles. Project update down at Dorner, Angel of Hope. The light fixtures have been ordered and received. Staff will begin working on installation of the conduit and the base pad, similar to like the Veterans Memorial, and concrete work will begin once those items are completed. Evergy is scheduling the install of electrical service. Typically takes 6 to 8 weeks. We're putting a little pressure on them to see if we can get it in sooner. And again, the concrete contractor will install the concrete under the canopies, the sidewalk, and the park shelter after the 71st Street sidewalk and the Veterans projects are complete. Playground install is tentatively expected to begin next week. Mill and overlay projects. Pearson Construction has completed all of the mill and overlay projects except for a portion of Timber Lane by Park Drive that some of you may have noticed. At this location, we discovered extensive soil and base deficiencies. Public Works staff over-excavated and backfilled with rock. We are currently waiting on to dry out from the past rain from last week. Also, after milling out Jubilee, Spencer, Cottonwood, it was discovered there was little to no asphalt base present. So typically when they do a 2-inch mill, you still see asphalt underneath it. These streets I listed, after they milled it, it was basically dirt with a little bit of AB3 rock. Due to this, the contractor will not warranty these streets, including the portion of Timber Lane that we talked about. City staff believes the compacted soil and the limited base will be sufficient in those areas. We actually observed their heavy equipment on those roads, and there was no redding or anything like that. The base would have achieved a Type 3 compaction under KDOT specs. Remodeling projects, we have obtained 3 bids on remodeling projects for City Hall and Public Works. We selected a low bid with Conco Construction. Currently, we're waiting on lead times on millwork and transaction windows. Once that information is received, we'll select a start date. For each project, they have 20 working days to complete. The dewatering project over at Wastewater, Conco Construction began construction on that project today. They have an expected finish date of February of 2021. And antique lights, for those that drive down Meridian, you probably have noticed the contractor has began installing the screw bases for the north and south sides. Our staff has completed the 2 new power supplies, one being at Hannah and one over by the Willows, and they expect to have this project completed in 30 days. So I'm out of breath and I think I'm done. Thank you.
I just see we've got a lot of things happening that's going to change the looks of the city in a lot of places. So.
Yes.
With that, I think we're down to number 6, appointments. Janie did decide to retire, so we are going to need a new city clerk and treasurer. So with that, I'd like to appoint Angela Millspaw as the city clerk / treasurer for the city of Haysville.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we have you appoint as the city clerk Angela Millspaw.
Second.
And treasurer.
And treasurer.
Second.
Motion second to approve Angela Millspaw's appointment to city clerk / treasurer. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Garden,
Yes.
Hebert,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Off agenda citizens, anyone email in or anyone out there?
No emails and no one's out there.
Nothing else. Okay, bills we paid for the first half of September.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we pay the first half of September bills.
Second.
Most second, pay first half of September bills. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Garden,
Yes.
Hebert,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Council items, council concerns. Council, anywhere?
Not really a concern, Mayor. Well, I guess it kind of is a concern. So I don't want to bring up, a couple of meetings ago, I talked about how every week in the Wichita Eagle, they release cases of COVID by zip code. And I guess the good news for Wichita is that the suburbs in Wichita's always had much higher rate than the suburbs. And now they're almost even, and that's because Wichita's coming down and the suburbs are coming up. Unfortunately, Haysville still, I think it was the third highest. We have about 107 cases per 10,000 people. We have 152 cases in town, and in our zip code on the testing, we're about right at 10% positive tests. So Wichita's coming down. I think it's because Wichita's kind of had the people more of the people accept the mask mandates and being careful, getting out, making sure they're social distancing, and when they're going and being around people, they are wearing their mask. I know the masks are a pain. I'm a school teacher right now, so I'm wearing it all day basically, but it's going to help bring that test down and we can get everything back to normal that much quicker. So I just encourage people to think about doing that and try to make it so that we can get stuff back to normal, and hopefully we can have a vaccine early next year. And that's all I got.
Other concerns, council? Hearing none, we'll go to item B, which is the council action request updates. 750 East Forest Court, you can see that has been completed. Parking on Broadway and Cottonwood has actually been completed. Fence at Carlin and Marlin, the notices were mailed on that on September the 10th. 401 Marlin, court date for 9/15, tomorrow. 183 North Marlin, notices given on 9/9. 191 North Marlin, notices are given on 9/10. And 253 Peachwood, Georgie contacted Waste Connections, let them know. And I think you see the route guy we've had a problem getting a hold of, but we'll let them know that they need to make sure they clean their messes up if things are blowing out of their truck. With that, we'll move 10, adjournment.
Mayor and council, make a motion we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Garden,
Yes.
Hebert,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.